welcome to AFRICUNIA television news updates, reaching you from the nation's commercial capital, Lagos, Nigeria. I am Deborah Ezeh. Looking into the African scene today in Nigeria, the former president, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, yesterday met with National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu in Abuja. The meeting took place a few hours after a Fulani group under the aegis of the nomadic, pastoralist and Almajiri communities purchased the ruling party nomination and expression of interest forms sold for 100 million naira for Jonathan. They urged him to contest for president under the party in 2023. The sale of firms for elected positions in the APC closes today, with 25 aspirants in the race for the presidential ticket in the party's primary elections, slated for May 30, 2023. The meeting between Jonathan and Adamu held at a secret location in Abuja and lasted about an hour, specifically between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. At the end of it, the former president and the national chairman came out smiling. Jonathan, in a statement by his media advisor, Ezeh, said he was not aware of the purchase of firms and did not authorize it. The spokesman of the Northern Solidarity Group for Timpre Silva, Suleiman Abdullahi, said they purchased the firm for him because they believed in his capability. Responding, Silva said he was honored and humbled by the show of love, saying it shows commitment not to him but to Nigeria. Still in Nigeria, Justice Ahmed Mohammed of the Federal High Court Abuja yesterday ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC and the Attorney General of the Federation AGF to appear before it on Thursday over the participation of the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, in the 2023 presidential election. Justice Mohammed, in addition, ordered the CBN Governor to serve all court processes in relation to the suits he filed against INEC and the AGF, who were first and second defendants respectively. Emefiele had, amongst others, approached the Federal High Court for an order restraining the defendant from preventing or injuring him participating in the process of the presidential election slated for February next year. Specifically, he urged or argued that by virtue of being a public servant, he cannot be barred from participating in the political primaries of the political parties. He submitted that constitutional provision stipulated that he can only resign his appointment as governor of CBN 30 days to the presidential election, which he is interested in contesting. However, in a brief ruling, Justice Ahmed Ramat Mohammed turned down the request for the order. Instead, the judge ordered him to put the defendant on notice and also serve the court processes on the defendant. Moving away from Nigeria, in Egypt, 11 Egyptian soldiers were killed on attempting to prevent a terrorist attack on the Suez Canal zone, abducting the Sinai Peninsula, a hotbed of jihadist activities. The death toll is one of the highest recorded by Egyptian forces in years in Egypt. According to the military statement, a group of Takfiris launched an attack on the military water pumping station. The soldiers repelled them and fighting ensued, in which 11 soldiers were killed and 5 wounded, the statement said. The soldiers continued to pursue the terrorists to a remote area of Sinai, according to the same source. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi said on Facebook that this terrorist operation will not overcome the determination of the country and its army to cut the evil of terrorism at its roots. And in the DRC, at least 35 people have been killed after armed men raided an artisanal gold mine in Ituri in the northeast of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This comes 2 days after the commemoration of the 4th year of the state of siege in Ituri. Mayor of the rural commune of the territory confirmed the attack, alleging that the Cooperative for the Development of Congo carried out the attack on the mine. A 4-month-old baby and a woman were among the dead, and the toll is provisional as there are other civilians killed whose bodies were thrown into gold pits and several older civilians are missing. There are 29 bodies brought back to the city of Pluto, while 6 charred bodies were buried on the spot. Several others were also reported to have sustained serious injuries, 9 of which were admitted to the General Hospital. And away from the African scene, on the foreign scene, buildings in Odesa lay in ruins on Tuesday, a day after Kremlin forces pounded the southern Ukrainian port with missiles, and Russian President Vladimir Putin led defiant celebrations marking the Soviet victory over Nazi Germany in World War II. Video footage from the scene showed fire and rescue workers combing through piles of rubble dousing still smoking wreckage. Ukraine and its allies have intensified efforts on how to unblock ports or provide alternate routes for exporting a significant crops of grain, wheat, and corn. Ukraine's defense ministry said Russian forces, backed by tanks and artillery, were conducting stormy operations at Mariupol's Azovstal plant, where hundreds of Ukrainian defenders have held out through months of siege. Meanwhile, Japan announced yesterday new sanctions on Russia to freeze the assets of more individuals and ban exports of cutting-edge goods to some Russian groups, including scientific research institutions. It is a series of punitive measures by Tokyo following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, which Russia calls a special military operation. Still on the foreign scene, the United States will take steps to increase pressure on Afghanistan's Taliban government to reverse some of its recent decisions restricting the rights of women and girls if the hardline group shows no sign of rescinding the actions on its own. It did not elaborate on the possible steps or indicate how the group, which has already implemented policies covering 20 years of gains for girls and women's rights, might have a change of heart. The Taliban on Saturday ordered women to cover their faces in public, a return to a signature policy of their past hardline rule, and an escalation of restrictions that are causing anger at home and abroad. The international community has made the education of girls a key demand for any future recognition of the Taliban administration, which took over the country in August as foreign forces withdrew. Despite that, the Taliban has restricted girls and women from working and limited their travel unless accompanied by a close male relative. And now most girls were also barred from going to school beyond the 7th grade. We now head to the sports scene, where Erling Haaland is close to completing his move to Manchester City. Some details are still to be finalized for the deal that is expected to be announced later this week. Pep Guardiola's side have been leading the race to sign the 21-year-old, and his release clause means Borussia Dortmund are resigned to losing the striker this summer. The €75 million fee, which equates to £62 million for Haaland, is widely considered to be below market value. Haaland has scored 85 goals in 88 matches for Dortmund since joining from RB Salzburg in January 2020. And finally, the country's football stakeholders yesterday lambasted the Nigerian Football Federation (NFF) over an alleged fine of $1.45 million, about 433,807, which World Football governing body FIFA imposed on the country for the unceremonious dismissal of German coach Gernot Röhl in December last year. Röhl, who qualified the Super Eagles for the 2022 African Cup of Nations (AFCON), as well as the final round of Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup, was sent packing on the eve of the showpiece in Cameroon, following complaints by some Nigerians that his team was not inspiring enough. Reacting to development, former Green Eagles winger Adegoke Adelabu described it as very sad, though NFF claimed early this year that Röhl had been paid in accumulated wages in Naira based on the dictates of the fresh 2-year contract he hitherto signed in 2020. The report added that FIFA has mandated NFF that they must now pay all monies due to Röhl in US dollars since he no longer domicile in Nigeria. And that's all from us on AFRICUNIA Television News Update today. Do ensure to follow all our social media platforms displaying on your screen. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, and leave a comment for us on the comment section. Once again, I am Deborah Ezeh. Bye for now.